So, good afternoon, everybody. As yesterday I mentioned, the practice of tolerance and forgiveness, these things is common, all major tradition. So some of the Shantadeva sort of the brilliant sort of way of presentation, I think, applicable to other believers. Okay. Except if there's some sort of explanation or reasoning according to the Buddhist way. So except that, many things we can use with different faith. Okay. Then one sort of theistic believer, one time in Jerusalem, one meeting, so one Jewish teacher told at the meeting, he advised some, in his class, there are some Palestinians, some Israeli students together. So he advised, so when the people meet someone who usually get some anger or irritation, then at that time is to think the other, the person who you get some sort of uncomfortable, consider image of God. So afterward, many Palestinian students report to him after sort of Kasota listened, after heard that sort of advice or suggestion, when they meet some Israeli checkposts or people, usually they got some kind of uncomfortable or sometimes irritation. So when they imagine that person also image of God, then immediately reduce the mental level sort of irritation. So these are the method to reduce anger, hatred. According to theistic religion, we all created by God, so everyone have some kind of spark of God. Everybody have. So thinking this line, very, very helpful. Again, this morning I mentioned, I think it is important to make distinction, action and actor. Actor is concerned, think, God has the image of God. Action is concerned, sometimes necessary to take countermeasure in order to stop that wrongdoing action. Not out of anger, but out of sense of concern of their well-being. If you let them take advantage of some wrongdoing continuously, eventually they will suffer. So out of sense of concern of their well-being, then take a countermeasure. So that's very balanced. Mental level, never let anger, hatred, not develop anger and the hatred, then fear automatically reduce. Meantime, according to circumstances, shows it necessary to countermeasure. You can take countermeasure. Clear? That actually is we are doing. For example, some of these Chinese hardliners, you see, for their action is concerned, we openly criticize and oppose. But we never develop anger, hatred towards these people. So, and for example, when we make, confession, at that moment we make distinction, my wrong action and myself. isn't it? Now I realize that action is wrong, so I confess. So we have the ability to make distinction, action and actor. So similarly, look, others make distinction, their action and the person who carried that action. So towards person, forgiveness. Towards action, not forgiveness. Take countermeasure. Okay. So now this chapter, today's is chapter 8, is mainly explaining about the value and how to practice infinite altruism. This also generally common with all other traditions. Now, first paragraph on Tangut. Tata Junju Jian Yini Dingzilla Sha. 7 number of years me, Mumu Chana next.
No.
Tingin is sim Chichigo Yon, sim Chichigo Yon Shaw, Samaruchi. Sim Chichigo Chuna, Samazanga, sim Chichigo Yumarwa. Go shoot Kongo. Comni sim Chichigo Nayaji, Yontuya. Simgi, Kazur Pugeta, the Buddhist psychology, Dishigdua, the ancient Indian psychology, the Buddhist psychology. Chenota, Kada Sem Kundungas, Taganishing Union, Takara Sem Rangshes will page Sem Piggy Miguel Lotear chick, this Simju Sambasat chick. Mibuteni, chick, you want Tayar chick. You want Namshisum Tayar chick. And then Piggy chick doctor chat. The Miguel Piggy Sem Danny, Mibutagan Lotus Deagi, natural chick or Yedavich. That's some Chichigo Drusadi, Tindegi Bena, Chick you shave, Chick Namju Chick Yedavati, Coach John Dacheni, Yang Yando Pig, Shiro, Lot Chang Luzani, Shiro, Church, to give a nation. Piggy Miguel Sem Duspa, Nayak, natural Yedavati. Yang Park Castle, Kumji Channel, Combitana, any kind of never church that you have to do. So, Zareko, you took the children answers you think it's Chikushi.
तो जो कि ध्यान पारमिता या फिर सहसुरता खासकर जो सहसुरता की बात कही गई थी वो सारी की सारी परंपरा में समान है। तो अगर हम कामना करें कि हम समाधि की अवस्था में पहुंच जाएं, केवल कल्पना करते रहें।
Naturally for us, it comes through familiarization. What in one of the the mental factors is considered to be that of concentration. Here, of course, there's a basic aspect of the mind being able to focus on something, but then the single-pointed concentration must come through training of the mind. And so, although there is a basic cognitive nature of the mind, which with you through your training, you can actually intensify its power to concentrate on the object and then develop this single-pointed concentration on any chosen focus. And so basic mind has this cognitive nature, being able to perceive or see things. But then through training, what we do is we make this more intense and intensified, and therefore you are able to develop this concentration through familiarization.
Now I would like to explain something about how to meditate, single-pointed meditate. Now this is the single-pointed meditate. Basically, you see two kinds of meditation. One analytical meditation, one single-pointed sort of meditation, two kinds. So actually, we use, you see, these two meditations. I think every sort of kasota, I think our daily life, actually, I think we are doing. Now, for example, the businessmen or women, you see, analyze how to get maximum profit. Analyze. That's analytical meditation. Then once you convince now this is the best way, then concentrate on it. Say single-pointed sort of faith or something. That is a single-pointed meditation. We actually, you see, do that. I think food. You see, firstly, testing, right? That's analytical meditation. Then good taste, and for short moment, without other thinking, just because of the testing some because of that. 그렇지. 저 심을때 냥제도 스타일을 가서래. 가.
The taste, the good taste, for a while.
I don't know.
Without doing any analysis.
This is some kind
just
of
focusing your mind
first
on the
test.
delicious taste.
That's analyze. Then you get satisfaction.
Relishing it.
Then a short moment. Remember that. That's the single-pointed meditation. I think our daily life, you should go that way. Now you see, the focusing on deeper sort of subject. Firstly, analyze. Without knowing, without some actual experience, then no basis of single-pointed meditation. So you need analytical meditation. Through analytical meditation, you see, once you get deeper understanding and not only understanding, but some kind of experience, some kind of firm sort of conviction. And conviction brings experience. Then, when you actually sort of get experience, then without analyze, remain on it. So both method is familiarizing these. Now, for example, compassion. First, analyze pros and cons, compassion and anger, hatred. Then that gradually bring conviction, firm conviction. Oh, I must increase compassion. Then, you see, familiarize. Some experience develop. Then, for bit of longer period, analyze. When develop conviction, then short period, meditate on it. Like that. That's the Inda.
Yes.
That's the Karsa Chisavanda. Simne Trubiati, any Utada 아니 창사다 대준나로 도디견 대준나로리야 삼내 주당고 14호 송도가 아니 14가 즉 디나리 요아래 로면 까말실레 꿈림 나리 요아래
तो अपने चित्त को समथ में लाने के लिए कई ग्रंथों में कहा गया
You wish to train your mind through what are known as the steps, the 9 steps to cultivate single-pointed concentration. You can actually study about these in the Madhyanta Vibhanga, the distinction between the center and the extremes, and then also Sutra Alamkara and Kamalashila's Pavana Krama.
예방아방 아니 두지게 때네 아니 semne ko rimbe ya treni tingji top rugure sunada
The Madhyanta Vibhanga by Maitreya, it's mentioned, in fact, the 5 different faults which actually hinder us from cultivating single-pointed concentrations, and how to overcome them through the application of what are known as the 8 processes, 8 applications. And then gradually, through this, by how to cultivate this single-pointed concentration.
뭐체 딱 가다가는 저 제식고도 셔두 전에 당고디 그냥 믹딩 데 뭐송네 다 믹딩을 배나다 semne 두배 거둘다 믹딩 배나 메다르식 상당히 디가도 sem제시도 샤네 저기야래 이나야다 띵인지 이실 주고를 모두 왕실 주고야 말해. 그래서 드림이 이르잖아요. 배다 메더디도 우샤샤나. 냐를 디 메더디가 남바디 롤 샤와체. 롤 샤와 참려야 이물을 샤대베 아니 다 메더기 튼집 줘봐. 그 디숭년스도가 띵인지 미긴 숭년사디. 어다고 롤이야 이물이야 메더디 베 이브다 카다도 디르베 차라메 이물을 싸와체.
तो जो समाधि की अवस्था है
So when we try to, without going into details, when we try to cultivate single-pointed concentration, what we need is, first of all, to identify the object on which you're going to focus your mind. It can be even a flower that you can use. It's okay to use this. And so when you try to develop single-pointed concentration on flower, what you need to do first is look at the flower with your eyes, but then the concentration itself is not developed with eyes as such, but you have to use your mind, have a clear picture of it, the flower in your mind, and then focus on that image.
फिर उसके बाद फिर जो
Also use certain parts of the body, the different the drops or the different chakras inside the body that you can use also as focus of your mind for concentration.
수제 지면 되게. 디 말해. 디 수제 독 사시도. 어디? 어디서? 타고야. 어디서? 뒤야. 크기야. 리소 차소. 야. 시바 코르 삼다시. 셈 코르 삼다시. 미긴 샤지.
तो फिर उसके पहले तो अपने शरीर इत्यादि को
itself
देखना
as the focus of your concentration practice.
तो अगर
So when you use the mind as your focus of the cultivation of concentration, first of all, you have to be able to identify the mind itself.
가서 우리 drama the chung the da nga driven go nga nyong ji ta ngo bu the trend da chamba jorwa de ba ka ge mo jo she ta maung ba ya ji de sam de sam de yung gu sam trend da maung ba mi de nam do ju che di mu mo su che tan de be chamba de ka maung ba che sha ga nam do de ge mo jo she do sta de be na hop khalia 즉 동상으로 즉 나온지 샤야도가 다 디강도 거로지 봐 윤내 투버 중원이나 애네 되네 세섬 릭섬 영섬 지기 즉 녀지 림도 로지 샤용해지 와다디 선을 신에게 믿긴 예버스는 있었다
तो जब हम चित्त को देख
And so when you use the mind itself as the focus, first what you need to do for concentration practice, what you need to do is forsake or stop all kinds of past memories, whatever experiences you had in the past, they should not come in your mind. And you should stop the past memories as well as stop the future anticipation of what's coming in the future. So don't think about the future as well. And then when you try to maintain your mind, remain in that kind of a state, where you don't think about the past nor the future, there comes kind of an experience of vacuity or space. And then when you continue maintaining or remaining in that state, what happens is you will be able to see the mere clarity and the awareness or cognitive nature of the mind itself. And therefore this mere clarity and cognitive nature of the mind, which becomes clear to you, becomes the object of your focus.
야 믿는 샤지 용거래. 가서 섬지 춘이를 믿는 샤지. 다 섬지 춘이 믿는 샤이를 자네. 당야로 섬그 오 세섬 릭섬 영섬 지기 그 롤이야. 그 넘버도 세보로 샤네. 근데 그 롤하니 대하로 중소나 다 뒤체시를 샤네. 다뒤 야 계신거지 차용 거와. 계신거지 차사베 야 차전 씹었으네. 차전 다도 씹었지 러로다. 자상가 다 차도 차전 치수진 초지 참이 씹어 계지 참이 디 지람 어디를 누구야래. 랑도 좀더 가시면 누구야래. 시 좀더 망게 참이 민들버리. 참이 시절을 미시셔버리. 사실은 인도산에 된대한테 사선 무슨 영상을 다니기 쉐바디에 아니 로테에 그 차제전이 그 균지 차 먹고 싶어가 다 균지 차르는 세베 제리야 아니 이 쉐바 디리스는 조조서 매대버지 차용도 와 대베 쉐바스 파샤 마음베 쉐바 끼규체 다 다대베 쉐바 사야지 가만 죽고 그래 지르면은 뒤숨 써야 돼 대바 마음과 다다와서는 숨 쉬게 하래 마다 마지막 안에 타녀도 작업관에 뒤숨 쉬어도 뒤숨 쉬어도요 뒤숨 쉬어도요 파 딱들 전에 집에 있나 대바도 파체 마음과 중주도 파체 사서나 다도 아니야면 다다오면은 강을 되는 대바도 마음과 쉬어도 말아 내 마음 쉬어도 말아 녀도 쉬어도 가 저다 디 뒤숨 줘야 돼 딱고 마다 마지막 안에 샤워를 마다 파파 짜가시면 있는 미도가 되는 시시바 깨진 것이 차치네 파도도 두서 짜가시면 있는 아니 세리 영상겠다等이 시바 지 커피 깨지기 차치는 치면 있는 니야메도 소스도가 다 동선 딱준 제기하래 나ዞ로리아 시바 스답도 코르지간 야 링이 로르 셔도가 어다 커파파 짜가시면 있는 치수지 퀀텀 피직스 타는 자인이 니기면 나시 나 쉐바 깨진 것이 자신의 쉐바이나 냐메도 그래도
तो उसके अतिरिक्त
So now you can also use the nature or the suchness or the reality of the mind as the focus of your meditation to develop a concentration. And so here what you do is having identified the mere cognitive and clarity nature of the mind itself. And then what you do is when you're able to maintain your focus on that very nature of the mind, what you can see is that this mind itself, which has this luminous or clarity and awareness nature, also changes moment by moment. It's momentary. Although in certain schools of thought within Buddhism also, like Vivashikas, say that there is an indivisible moment of consciousness, but then that's a philosophical concoction, and most of the philosophical schools do not assert that. And so what you see is that this mind, which changes from moment to moment, has a continuity in its moments, and therefore when you see the mind goes from one moment to the next, and there's momentary change, you cannot have mind as such, something that is concrete, that you can pinpoint to as being the consciousness or the mind. And therefore, as we usually do, although we do talk about the three times, past, present, and future, what we can see is, without doing any kind of analysis into what is past and what's the future and present and so forth, we can accept in conventional terms what past, present, and future. But then when you would really check what is past and what is present and what is future, I mean, you will see that as soon as you check some moment, a time, half the time has passed and the half is the time is future, yet to come, and therefore you can't pinpoint something being present or being the present there. And because, I mean, if you are not able to assert the present, then of course without present there cannot be past and future as well. Although in conventional terms we can say there's past, future, and present, but then when you do this kind of analysis, you can't find them. And so likewise, consciousness is also changing moment by moment. Within this momentary change, you cannot find a consciousness as such, just as matter cannot be found objectively in quantum physics. Likewise, consciousness also cannot be found.
다다외로 마음배로 럽투그로 찰로 대로 다다와서 지투그로 다 다다와서야디 거라 랑스벌 지고 거라 된정은에 지금 예배이나 나중에 시부 다다와 차오로 대차도금도 와 로로 투숨 지윤데 대로다 찰로로 때네 나중에 다다와서 지기하려 마도 야 나오고 로그라 찍고서는 야 대배 나와 마음배 나와 지도로 다다와 나와 지도로 야 다다와 나와 거랄래 야 샹암 샤 둔장암 둔자제마 되네 둔자래 샹암 샤제마스 샤래 나도 대신 치료하는 신에도 용심으로 다 대리 주주파 제치베이나 참 니하면 누가 타녀도 작성한 거네 대마오샤야 마도 다다와고 원이 주버지나 로원 다다로 원이 주버이나 나중에 용서로 다다와 차오로 뒤처럼도 와 썩고 뜻을 소소로 때네 엔다 두숨 샤용도 저자 대리인데 그 봐봐 다다와서 봐봐 잖아 괜히야 되지 저자가 두숨 써야 돼 작성한 거네 샤되지 작성한 거네 샤버지를 그 자치고 알았다 르 딱성제 스코피게 페노메도 지리 쌈도 와 양고 자치도 와 저자 명대 샤성부터 하네 자치행이 샤도도 명대 샤성모도 그 원이 주버 매들지 원이 주버 매베 명대 샤성 되게 자치가 알고 페노지고 알고 지켜주세요
तो
And so we can also talk about the times, 3 times in terms of a year. For example, we can talk about the past year, future, and past, present year, and so forth. And then within a year, you can also talk about, of course, if within a year, you can talk about, within the years, you can talk about past, future, and present years. And then if the present year, for example, were to have any kind of objective independent existence from its own coincide. And then the present time, like a month, should also constitute a year, but that is not the case. And so a year has 12 months, and so each month would also constitute a year. That's not the case. And then when you look at a year, it is made up of 12 months, and each month is made up of weeks, and then days, weeks made up of days, and then days by morning and the evening and so forth. And so when we think about this kind of time of month, weeks, days, and morning, evening, and so forth, of course, we cannot find anything that we can pinpoint as being present as such. But then that doesn't mean that the present time or day, year, and weeks, and so forth does not exist. But then they do exist conventionally. Merely conventionally, we can talk about a present year, present month, day, and present time, and so forth. But when you do analysis into them, you cannot find. And so these three times, past, future, and present, are merely designated and renowned and conventional. And of course, although they are conventional, they do still function. They do their own function, and although they do not have any objective existence, they do affect us.
디 인다 섬지 춘이 사디가 리겨래. 아니 파파파 춘이 사디 당아도 참회 슝 나라라 로이 그게 유 샤당리야. 아니 유를 갖고도 주번이체. 아니 각베르 디디 로르 샤인르잖아. 각자阶段的 로르 샤고야지 용도가. 다들 메가다 많이 가서 먹고야 체용도가. 디는 내가 좀 잘했어. 당연히 디디 최소스님도 디디는 데니 나리니 무직비 캐버즈 아니 자도 세ven 주고 인. 그 자도 주변 주고 인 세대가래. 초란 최다기 자도 세ven 주고 숨겨야래. 다들 잡아시다 난도가. 다 제네어다 디 또고 신주 신 샤용구야래. 다 안다 디기 가서 지고 시상한다. 하는效果. 자자오 유了 아니 각과도 주고 니체. 다 동번이슬도 그 주변권에 딩면서 하시면 도가. 각자 원이 다한테 우메베 시사시 샤인주잖아요. 각자 원이 주고 객섬적 주니 시샤로. 저한테 각자阶段的 落了效果多。在这里인도산에这个心的人心在呢，什么下的，但他的多元的长sam심마다 원이 주고 매드버시落了效인도산에 원이 주고 객섬这个当上就落了效应了。到这个东西有些是个人，去年的各种人呢，搞不起，搞是阶段的效应我都买不起，对，旅游的钱인도산에 각자 각성 들으실 로 샤는 거야.
So when we look at the mind itself, of course, the mind cannot be found in terms of years and so forth, moment by moment and so forth. Although we can still talk about the mind having its effect on us, and therefore, we can see the function of the mind moment by moment. But then, when you actually, that is merely on the conventional level. In conventional terms, the mind and the suchness or the reality of the mind also exists. The ultimate nature of the mind exists, but then without doing any kind of analysis into that, the mind, when we can say the mind exists. But then when you do the mind analysis into what the mind is, whether it's the present consciousness or the past and future and so forth, of course you will not be able to pinpoint anything as being the mind concretely. But then that doesn't mean the mind does not exist, although it's not findable through when you do this kind of critical critical analysis into the nature of the mind, what you actually find is that the mind does not have any intrinsic or independent existence as such, and therefore the mind that focuses on such a nature of the mind, that lack of independent existence, is the mind which is focusing on the final nature or the ultimate nature of the mind. In other words, emptiness of the mind itself. And so the emptiness of the mind becomes the objective focus of that the single-pointed mind which is focusing on it, and therefore it takes an aspect. The mind which focuses on this emptiness aspect, is a mind which is focused on a what is known as a negation phenomena, which is established through negation. And what is negated here is that the mind that the mind has any kind of independent objective existence and such. That is what is negated, and as such you are focusing on the emptiness of the mind itself. And so when we talk about the emptiness, we also deal with the negative phenomena and positive phenomena and so forth. And so accordingly, there are lots of discussions about what are the positive and negative phenomena and how our language and conceptions are engaged through negation or elimination of certain things.
자, 또 제금 전에 마도 조금 장장 요하면 도가. 또 쉬우지 고면은 아니 동원이 된 때에 딱와서 때에 딱와 전석고 나서 원이 주변 동저로 사용 그래. 엔 다가로 산 저거. 당 알아도 저거 그냥 거로 상담하는 마도 용문도 와. 또 전에 아니 동일을 미게 조금 차. 따디 그래서 동일을 왜 신내 고려야 돼. 따디 그 신다면 다 캐줘야 돼. 사버다 나가람 냠린 차라 다디 쉬우지 캐셔 차버래. 진짜 인도 다 오늘 당은 다 힘들어. 다 그래. 다 진짜 마찬가지 당안아서야 레라로 찍디 디삼단 야고도가 옥중으로야 민네. 양코 멋있지 지구로 지 강성 저기야 래. 제디네 배코버게 미국 참으로 적으면 누가 오종인데 치료기 심 공해 시에도 심 양을 때네 오종 장자를 믿대도 다스게 차르시 양식 믿는 참으들을 때나 오종을 믿대야 돼 라고체 고라다도 저서가 이니 오종 장자를 상담네 오야 무 아니 상로데 오마 등게 다야 오 나도 무고요 오 중국 장장도 상담네 심신도 많이 보셔 다가 장장간 상담네 오종 아니 쿠버 지금 니슈자라는데 아니 자스인데도 상담나 심거리베 심베 지금 모티브 전에 심베 지금 축대베 그들로 오종 장장도 상담나 야 되게 심 축대베 또 스마 흘러라래 판도요
तो इससे अतिरिक्त भी अगर हम आसान तरीका का अभ्यास चाहते हैं
And then once you have found the emptiness of the mind, then what you should do is, without doing any kind of analysis, you should focus your mind on it. And so here, of course, in order to be able to do that, you need to do analytical meditation in first, and then familiarize your mind with that emptiness of the mind. And of course, for us beginners, we need to do a lot of thinking here, a lot of reflections and critical analysis. But then once you have familiarized, you have gained some familiarization, then maybe certain reasonings like because the mind is empty of inherent nature, because it is dependently arisen. I mean, such a logic can actually produce in you this kind of insight into emptiness, and you can actually focus your mind on that empty nature of the mind. And so, especially when you do this focus, then it's really helpful, and especially in Tantra, it's really helpful, and it has its own profundity. But then, with regard to the when you do single-pointed concentration on breath, in and out breath, it's a focus that is neither very subtle, like the subtle mind, like focusing on the mind and the nature of the mind, nor is it really kind of a rough, like focusing on the objects that you see with your senses, like eyes and so forth. And so you should focus your mind on the in and out breath. When your mind is really agitated, especially, it really helps. You can count the in and out breath 20 times or 100 times and so forth. Just counting one in and out breath as one cycle, and it's one, then count 20 something times or 100 times. It would be helpful.
That 가. 있을 거도. 거도 저도 신배 되게 쉽지게. 쉽지게. It seems to say they really feel hot. 있을 거야. Air condition 열배. Any air condition? Where? If air condition work, I think the first is equipped here. Here, no air condition. So I don't think it's a proper air condition equipped. Okay. So now perhaps I think it's quite fun. Now, look at me. You see, now straight. Your body is straight. A hand go here. Okay. Now look at me. Like this. Now. Now gradually, with some kind of sakharata, to tampucha.
A little bit of strictness and pull it through your thigh.
Oh, like this. Now, firstly, you should be careful. If you want to hit your sort of neighbor, then go this. Now this way. Be careful, be careful.
And
Then, like this. Now take inside, take in. Now again like that. Again. Now from both nostrils, you see. So, so altogether 9 times. This side 3, this side 3, then both, so the both nostril 3 times. So altogether 9 times. Then this sort of say, start like that, and then you can just count. The 20, 30, and the 50, 100, like that. That's one way, the initial sort of practice of single-pointed meditation. It's quite easy, like that. 다 되게 한다. 다 대달 이 그게 미국 시안을 미초어 미국 치라고 지로 롤해네 돼야 되는 줄 다 지금 발주 시야게 개인으로 조디 공연 시바 초대야 되게 제임이요래. 사실 이 유산에 류 dunzile wemba sem namdole wemba sadi chekuyo.
तो चित्त को एक
So, without being able to focus your mind, staying on the focus, on your focus, without distraction, what obstructs or serves as an obstacle to that is our senses. When our senses are very active, I mean, they distract us, and therefore, what we need to do is to isolate ourselves physically, and then mentally, we need to isolate our mind from distractions.
sim shedan le ba chadi igi sobe liu ko lo sung se bu cha da sim ani pge timu ge namdo le ba di liu gu be na la cha ban ju cha da 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 de sim de cha le ba ba tu ya di su gu ya
तो जैसे
So, with regards to isolating your mind from distraction, the distractions here constitute the 3 poisons: those of attachment, anger, and the ignorance. And so the verse number 2 in this chapter 8 says, however, through solitude of body and mind, no distractions will occur. Therefore, I should forsake the worldly life. And so with regard to the anger, hatred, it is dealt with in the 6th chapter that we already covered. And then the 9th chapter deals with ignorance. And here we are dealing with attachment. And so when it comes to the practitioners of single-pointed concentration here, of course, for someone who is a feminine, female, I mean, you have to look at the faults of the male and who cause distraction in you, for you to cultivate concentration, and for males, they should focus on the faults of females.
श्लोक नंबर 25
If turn to verse number 25, please.
This one. You should talk about the Nana Rita, Chanam, Singing Mini, Jimmy, Shason, Nema, when Bay and the Sonre. Da never bala. Chick so super Chatan just say you the ta sing. And Dunzil Wembachan, you do, Rungsing some number of Wembala, temple panda yare. Da zozo sim dunzil sa sim namdol aba zore. Da di yangla da bulia lun dunzil aba sene इन aba त्यार शेपता.
तो उसमें कहा गया है कि खास करके एकांत में रहने से हमारे चित्त को किस
So
प्रकार
among the
से
deer, the birds,
शांति
and the trees that say nothing unpleasant and our life would associate with. So what this shows is the qualities of a solitude, a place which is solitary. I mean, away from the society and so forth. And so, of course, when you're physically away from social distractions and others, then of course it also helps the mind to stay more calm and so forth. But mainly you have to think about developing the calmness with the mind itself.
38
For 38,
38
verse
verses
number
now.
38.
38. 다 삼바 셴니 꾸인당데 다라 삼바 직부이 섬니 냐버 샤제도 두어 샤제 점버 샤 세는다 이 양자를 보게다 섬 세직도 반내야 직다 애니 섬 내내 직다 미보 조데 창조 섬다 고메야디 송비야리
तो ऐसा श्लोक में
And so what this verse number 38 says, having given up all these intentions, other intentions being motivated by only one thought, I shall strive to settle my mind in equipoise and to subdue it with superior insight. And so what this shows is how to bring your mind back to the focus, the single-pointed focus. And mainly what this teaches is the cultivation of bodhicitta.
자기님이 송네 다조 착배님이 송도가 다 되기 쉬어야 나도 원시부들의 가시기 10월 할 가면서 가서 나베 비미 류리 견주사 제샤스 어디 생에 요요 고생 자 디들의 말이 10월에 디 준주 송두산에 사실 럽드된 거는 제제 여사래 준주디 소종 급질이야 아니 최 라프게 찬 토다 최샤게 디저레 나 가서 그래 흉나도 송여다 자 다른 영화도 덤대로 제제 최작은 더디 다마 된제디 튜브처럼 뭐도시 원에서는 따지게 찬 토다 지금 최샤지 도스 여도가 다 시월라 된지기다 소종 도스야 퀄리티 그돌이야 아니 준주디 송배 루디야래 자, 다들 송세 유디 럽중 포모 차더라 봐. 가자. 럽중파. 다 결론 조다 결론 차더라 봐. 자, 근데 인도산에 디니 유디 아니 결론파 인도산에 비밀 류기 이미 다 송야디 송브레. 다들 속하줄세. 땡 비밀지기 다 착배님이 섬던들 계베 아니 류기다 이미 섬다니 아니 차고 도서치야 도서리
तो इसके बाद
So what happens to us is that because of the distraction through the sensual objects, therefore Master Shantideva here deals with the faults of our senses, sensuality and particularly attachment, and therefore some of my friends have told me that they really don't like Shantideva because he criticizes female body a lot in Bodhisattvacharya avatar in this text, which of course we're going to come across, but that's not the case. Actually, what happens is when Shantideva himself wrote the compendium of the practices before writing this text of Bodhisattvacharya Avatara, and he wrote this one later. And then there was, of course, in the Vinaya practice, in the monastics are supposed to do some teachings to others throughout the night, and therefore at one time it came to Shantideva's turn to give that kind of teaching. Of course, we these days do do recite some Vinaya Sutra, and then we do with that. But then in the past, there seems to be some practice of some bhikshus giving teachings, and therefore at that time Shantideva taught this text, and therefore since he was giving this teaching to a community of monks and not females, therefore he is criticizing the faults of a female body. But for a practitioner who is a female, I mean, you should use the same logic to see the faults of the male body as well.
ngāgi tsādōngi tā ngāgi tōmbē tsādōng shēng yu zhēne pīmī lā mē na tsādōng shēng.
तो इस जो
And so it can't be true that actually when Shantideva goes through these faults of female's body, the filthiness and so forth, he could not have despised the women as such, because despising women is one of the root downfalls of Tantra, and therefore Masanagarjuna, Aryadeva and so forth have mentioned that this is so, and so Shantideva could not have despised women as such.
अच्छा, तो हाँ, दूसरी बात माफ़ करना कि तंत्र के अभ्यास में भी ऐसा कहा जाता है कि बिना उसके महिलाओं पर या निर्भर किए हम तंत्र का अभ्यास ठीक से नहीं कर सकते हैं. इस वजह से ऐसा हो नहीं सकता कि उन्होंने महिलाओं की बुराई की हो या फिर उनकी कमी को दर्शाया हो.
So, in tantric vow, there are 14 main or say, kasa that means kasa, so told kasa, so don't kasa, main root. Oh, love that.
In the tantric practice, there are precepts called root infractions.
14.
14 root infractions.
So one of them is criticize female. So we should complain. There is no mention criticize male. So only mention criticize female. I think that also is a cultural aspect. At that time, you see, there are some sort of male chauvinism. So deliberately, you see, mentioned.
In the tantric 14 root infraction, one of the root infractions says, if you find fault of a woman, then that is an infraction, and such a thing is not mentioned in the case of the man.
I think these are, as I mentioned the other day, it's a cultural aspect. You see, the society, a little bit sort of male chauvinism. So therefore, they deliberately, you see, mentioned that. Now that in the 89 verses,
He says these thought about the
tell us so
excellences of
when
solitude.
samjane namdo nyore shiwa de changju sumne kombar cha sta.
So verse number 89 says, having in such ways as these thought about the excellence of solitude, I should completely pacify distorted conceptions and meditate on the awakening mind.
से प्रसन्न होकर वितर्कों के समन और बोध चित्तोत्पाद के लिए समाधि का अभ्यास करना चाहिए. तो इस जो
topic of this particular chapter on meditation is bodhicitta, so it starts from this verse, number 89.
다 정주섬 보면 가서 안다 시진기 슝기 우다가 섬지도 소용도가 ngondo jengi da shijingi badu ngondo sung yu zane da namju anda tensen su du yu zane kasa ti tenju 남지 선지기 추주라 소바데 마제네 남지 선지기 바르기 전에 tenju 뒤지다 봐줘 아래 다디기 당고도 심지리 전에 다 동라제베 숑的是你自己我的心机送用的话다 심지디 뭐도讲了嘛的tenju 다 가사지 시진기 배든 것도 그런 것들이 뭐 tenju를 뭐 되네 막送用的자네 다 심지 단다도送用的아니 심지 사는데 다 심지 반에 현준치 양다 쪽에 정주도 쓰네 진서도 심지가 사는데 체도차와 현준도 아니 런이 다 현준 달라도 룹토야게 누가 차상 여대버디 정주 첨부 고반데 이번도 자네 현준도 정주 첨부 고반 단두냐 왔어 다들 두번이스라버리 두번 대반이스 현준 되니까 대바직 현준 주바라 랑이 누가 차상 여버지 고아르마도 랑이를 현준 주야 누가 매버지로 현준 지시부 주도 말와 근데 인도산에 체도 자와 현준 주야래디 뒤주에 양라라 랑근에 방도가 냠좀 탈친 것이 매나 미세 매버와 어딘지 인도 텔라 랑든 정주 되니스라버리 지상 거서 몽구지 디스도아 altruism 신에베 샴페인 상담 랑 예와토야 소리지 말다디 자상가 랑셴 되네 럽줍칠 정주심이 깨버리지스 랑도 주야 이네 정주심 고면하래 셴도 주야 이네 정주심 고면하래 다 디르도가
इसलिए प्रज्ञा पारमिता सूत्रों का अगर सार देखा जाए
So when we actually look at the Perfection of Wisdom Sutras, they begin with the teaching on bodhicitta, this altruistic intention, the awakening mind, and then in the Prajnaparamita studies, we study that these Perfection of Wisdom Sutras are actually teach what are known as the 70 topics, and this in the 70 topics, the first comes omniscient. The first is the bodhicitta, which comes under the teaching on the 10 different elements of for omniscient state of mind, Buddha's mind. And then in the 100,000 verses of Prajnaparamita or the 25,000 verses of Prajnaparamita, these both of them start with the teaching on bodhicitta. And Abhisamaya Alamkara by Maitreya also starts with this teaching on bodhicitta. And so bodhicitta is defined as that aspiration for the highest goal of enlightenment for the benefit of other sentient beings. And therefore, within this practice of bodhicitta, cultivation of bodhicitta, there is this dual aspiration. And one is the aspiration to lead others out of suffering and its causes and so forth, and to lead them to enlightenment. And the other is, in order to be able to help that, of course, which is the main purpose, the helping other sentient beings. What you need is you should also be fulfill you should also be able to serve others, help others fully, and therefore you need to become someone who is fully enlightened with full realization and having overcome all the faults within yourself. And so altruism has nothing to do with just giving up your everything that you need to do, but actually you need to fulfill your own goal in order to help others.
잘라 당와 니가 로파 가네 심녀버 쪽스라버리 자 다전에지 토마 심녀버 쪽 당용 쪽 저장 가설려야게 the unbiased compassion 용어야 냐라 attachment 매버서 있잖아 detach 되네 이니 바꾸는 게 심녀버 쪽 되네 심녀버 쪽 살에 제일 신의 이니 심지어 타다 말로 속에 아니 년도 따야 마다 파다 가다 소수 미지데 지다 말을 베시라고 보게다 상다냐 여버지나 말다야 야 팔이야 상다냐 여버이나 팔 상다 다다 대 전배 저 소수 미지데 즉 심다 술을 냐여네 되는 신식이 심지어 타다가 따버리스 마르셰바 산티.
तो इस
So when you try to cultivate bodhicitta, this altruistic intention for attaining enlightenment, to help other sentient beings, what you need first to do is to develop an equanimous state of mind where you are neither too attached to your loved ones, dear near ones, nor you are averse to those you consider to be your adverse enemies and so forth. And so without having these two, love, hate, senses, and then what you need to do is to develop this unbiased state of mind where you are not called tossed by these two emotions, and therefore you should get rid of attachment to these two and develop detachment, and then you can look at all other sentient beings as being your mothers, like your mothers or your fathers or anybody whom you feel close to. You can think all sentient beings as that.
심지어 샤드 샴바디에 뭐는 지금 뭐도 기별고는 진심부 인사마다 제대로 타네. 아니 진짜마. 아니 진소. 진수로들라 아니 가다 샹래야 상월로다 지 대화도 대바충나 사배 아니 참바. 아니 동에도 다디 참바 패지 조조 이용그 잡았어야 되리. 제신 방배 나버진 그 잡았을래인 거야. 대내에 지점부 제시하고 로여버 대속이 대동의에 나와를 미수베 엔인지 미수베 로데 딱 가서 건드시면 신기 잔득이 인식이 될 거야. 대에는 샨두 쿠르티에 학습 장용 거야래. 다 샨두 쿠르티에 학습 내용도 딱 먼저 전에 편도 쭉 돼야지. 영어라 랑라 편도 줍에 누버지고 그도 근데 이들산에 semjenji ngene 그게 두 멤버치다 가다베 교진 초보지 종원이나 랑을네 다 샨드 타르시버 두야게다 누버여버지기 디스토레스나 산지지고만 되인바래 다제데 인도에 정주되니 그로데 레인고야래 샨드도 남지 되니 그로데 어텔이야 두번인데 그 정주고 셈세네 명아준도 두명을 올라서다 되인바래 땅금도 시원해 숑거나라 dakshanyamshikone loja sing disone kada niga loga da chanju sim kya nubada niga lolo lug niga lolo yore de yine pege nuba chede dakshanyamshikone loja nuba chede sha shiwade dakshanyamshikone loja sungya de ta penju shungu nane gomulu rugi ani rinje chana yore dagna chi chanju simje na sung yore sa phaji luju ludu zore sha 토미 루네마 패시 균대명아 두명을 놓자야 패시 소송이야 맨도 다도 루주게 다 다심 적권을 놓자야 디송구도 와 디시랑 누가 쳐야되셔
And so now, having developed this equanimous state of mind, then what you should do is that you should feel all these sentient beings whom you can see as like your parents, father or mother, or anybody whom you feel closeness towards. You should be able to see all sentient beings like them, and then think that they are kind to you. They have been kind to you in the past, and so many times, numerous times, and then having thought about this kindness, then what you next do is think of repaying their kindness, and therefore you should, having thought of repaying their kindness, what you should develop is this loving kindness or affection towards others, sentient beings, where you want them to have happiness, or you, in this state of mind, what you are doing is you actually cherish these sentient beings, hold them dear to your heart, and therefore you develop loving kindness or affection, and then the greater, the more intense this feeling towards sentient beings being attractive to you, or the more you cherish them, the greater you cherish them, hold them dearer, the greater you also feel compassion towards them, wishing them freedom from suffering as well. And then here this compassion is that compassion where you wish to actually take the responsibility of freeing these sentient beings from the suffering, not just leaving it at the level of wish, and therefore it develops within it. What this helps is to develop within yourself this courage to actually take the responsibility on your shoulder to help other sentient beings, and therefore you develop this extraordinary resolve to actually take the responsibility to save other sentient beings and to free them from suffering and lead them to happiness. And therefore, when you check within yourself whether you really have that kind of capability to help others completely or not from suffering, whether you have the capability now to bring them to happiness, of course you will find that you do not have that yet. And therefore, who has this kind of capability is a Buddha, a fully enlightened person, and therefore you think of wishing to become a Buddha for the sake of sentient beings. And this is what is taught according to the sevenfold instruction of cause and effect. And then Master Shantideva here deals with the exchanging self and others, which is a more powerful means of developing bodhicitta, which is found in the sources like Ratnavali, Bodhicitta Vivarana, and so forth by Nagarjuna.
근데 인도산에 다한테 디디 성스탄도가 다의 신 니가로 동해 민도버 자자 자자버 지고래 대원 되버 자자 자자버 지고래 다 개발 가서는 다서는 찍으러 신선은 타이버로 다디 개시중 삼 담아이나 망어디 개치로 소소 미치고 자 근데 인도산에 다디 랑니 다 동네 민두보다 대원되버 인도산에 디타네 그저 용 배주셔버나시 난게태도 besim제디 소소소소 동네 지파 마요야 지다 대원야 지금 배주셔도 찍고 봐 다와나 소소 랑도 랑지 전에 동네서야다 대화를 지고래 이 소소 들으지 심 깨고 가르슬라바 있나 저 지금네 소소야 그래서 투도 지금 샴페인 중요하게 고급지에 예대버려 봐 그냥 편도지 영화도가 사고도야 소소 정리기 심 뭐지 뭐야 망세디디 랑진진 디 차용도가 지금 그 현지에서 삼다고 대속이 랑진진 그 관계 심배도 시 콩도 취대하러 심배 시 부서로 통하는 남다를 죽게 되고 혹시 발령에디 현진직을 려용도가 자, 드니는 다와 드니기 랑 진진기 곧 두번에 삼. 현 진진기 연대 곧 두번에 삼네. 드니지 그 통하네. 이 현대 되니 그 로리 앞에 이 촌. 로 대초소 장야지. 다 됐은 거야.
So verse number 90 is, first of all, I should make an effort to meditate upon the equality of between self and others. I should protect all beings as I do myself, because we are equal in wanting pleasure and not wanting pain. And so when you think along these lines, what you find is that you think about the happiness and suffering of oneself and others. And then when you compare yourself and others, of course, you are just a single person, whereas others are numerous or infinite in number. And therefore, if you think carefully whether it's more important to think about oneself alone or the numerous others, of course, you'll find that it's more important to think about others who are numerous and infinite. And therefore, although, of course, you may say that each and every one of us want happiness and not want suffering, therefore each and every one of us actually can do what we, try to achieve what we want and overcome what we don't want. Each everyone is busy, doing this. But then why do we need to actually think of helping others out of suffering? On the one hand, of course, when you actually dedicate yourself to help others, it gives you the courage to, although you may not have the full capability to help others yet, it gives you the courage to be able to do so in the future as well. And then secondly, what this does is that it actually helps us to diminish our extreme self-cherishing attitude, because of which we are creating a lot of problems for ourselves, difficulties for ourselves, as well as others. And therefore, we have, because of selfishness, self-cherishing attitude, we have fear, anxiety, and so forth. And you are not able to even help yourself fully. And therefore, it helps to overcome this. And therefore, you need to think about cherishing, the faults or defects of cherishing self, oneself alone, and the benefits of cherishing others. And then you familiarize your mind with these two meditations and then develop the sense of helping others.
श्लोक नंबर 95
강시 다다 셴이가 대원도도 숨어라 다다 켜버 지는 강시 다직 대원전 강시 다다 셴이가 동네면도 숨어라 다다 켜버 지는 강시 셴이 딱 숨체 자다 직되기 다 동네 대바 동네면도 봐도 대원도 꼭 끊어 숨거리는 소수치고 삼다한테 가져요 죄송도
तो इसमें कहा गया है कि जब दूसरे भी अपनी तरह सुख चाहते हैं तो फिर हम अकेले क्यों अपने सुख की कामना करते हैं फिर क्यों अकेले अपने सुख सुविधा के लिए प्रयत्न करें और इसी प्रकार जब स्वयं और दूसरों के दुख निवारण चाहते हैं तो फिर यह कैसे उचित है कि असंख्य
Are similar in that we wish to be happy. What is so special about me? Why do I strive for my happiness alone? And when both myself and others are similar in that we do not wish suffer, what is so special about me? Why do I protect myself and not others?
semjan namda gyawale gyan kaza sanje chunru rawala gyala kuji tishin do semjan lami ji sus sanje ji goban toya gi du zogo ji de sanje gi sai yuan dan tong dingmon do chandu gi daba jeni toya gi du ji chi gores 근데 저주 돈이 누베티 치고레스 다 규소직디 닝지레스 디 심절미는 연구하레스 저장가 동해의 잔도기 닝지 전부 되듯이 영화라 미국 심절미는 연구하래 자 근데 인도산에 꼭 간다 미국 텔 때네 아니 간다 동해의 잔도기다 닝도디 두스게는 시기가 인도산에 대인이 저주 돈이 누버 장 연구여봐 인도 가다 있는 산지지 고반 토야 돼 제가 산지 입에 진럽다 진제디 제가 심정 진제스 디 담버스도 과 자, 드는 인도산에 뭐네 지겠다 아니 산지 진지부레디 지 시스템을 좀 강력하게 매봐 나는 아주 수스데 냠다고 심정디디 진이 전부 쇼지레샤 행사 상고 맞으면 첩조부터 시간을 예대버디 인다 성마다 했잖아. 진심으로 이번 잔다라. 직대 인직 뒤니 다르시 버리. 다 직대하다 냠타고 그래. 소소면에 커덕해요 말디. 내가 직이 편도 해주네. 다 팀문에 직 럽쳐 버려도 가. 고고 입어도 가. 편도 입어도 가. 소소면에 삼반 남다가 셈기. 와다 랑을 류가 있음부디 샹도 코너를 봐 믹세 샹도를 째도 지기 편받다 그저도 라는 게 제가 있나 내가 지금 편에 편벌 사진이 인도산에 어다 전대가 전에 또 로장나 즉 샹든 이제 샴페인 두야고 로식레인 것도 가 아니 샹을 집에서 로식레인 것도 가다 디체
तो कल के अध्याय में जैसा धैर्य
So earlier, yesterday we covered the 6th chapter, where it is actually said that although they are called in relation to both the Buddhas and sentient beings, we are able to attain Buddhahood. Why do we respect Buddhas, venerate Buddhas, and not sentient beings? And here, what is said that of course we revere Buddha and think of their kindness and so forth. We wish to reach the Buddhahood because of seeing all the good qualities in Buddhahood, and therefore there is this wish or the aspiration to become a Buddha on the one hand, and that aspiration is developed, when we think of helping others. But then in the process also, we need to know that in relation to sentient beings, we need also to develop compassion. That compassion, this is the determination and the dedication to help free other sentient beings from suffering. And therefore, if it is also the case that we, in relation to sentient beings, we develop compassion, which is the root of bodhicitta, that which is focused on the enlightenment. Why do we actually revere the Buddhas and not the sentient beings? And so both sentient beings and the Buddhas are equally kind to us. But the Buddhas do not have any problem. But then the sentient beings are suffering. And therefore, we need to think about their suffering and feel determined to help others.
미국 심전은 미국에
Out of
아니
suffering.
닝지 심별 장에 있는 산재 차버리. 진짜 지성 그 레볼이야 아주 멤버다 대바 예배 쪽이 뒤주 전주 심전 닝지 심별이야. 원했다 매버쳐 가지고 와. 대자의 심전 토도. 자 드리 인도 산재 로야 그 주소르데 냠타고 심전을 때네 심전 미국을 전에 뒤 연구이 소스도 와. 자 드리드베다 산재 뒤 찍도 광야 뒤 난게테도 심정에다 토용 공대야 신발이. 그래서 진짜 인도 안주 수스의 산재를 띄우시시 대바체. 자치부시. 산재 세다 잡은 남지 막 붙이고 넣으신 게 저원자서다 전제세 유심자는 아주 매버다나 콜로레도. 지금 그 산재를 대바여버 뒤쪽에 산재 요구가 강을 때문에 터바다. 강그 던도 산지 있고 두번 제베 냠타고 심전이야 야원도도 매듭지도 와 근데 야고 삼다버리나 직삼나 구조시키기도 와
तो
So, of course, when we think about Buddhas, I mean, of course, we feel called reverence and called all these kind of good qualities in relation to Buddhas. But then, when you think about a Buddhahood, what happens is how a Buddhahood actually comes about is through the practice of compassion. Someone becomes a Buddha through the practice of compassion, which leads to the development of bodhicitta. And then the bodhicitta, which comes from compassion, actually is developed in because of sentient beings. So because of sentient beings, you are able to develop compassion, great compassion, this dedicated heart, this special resolve and so forth. And therefore, you see the suffering nature of sentient beings and you want to help them out of this suffering. And therefore, through that, you wish to become, that leads to wishing to become a Buddha. And therefore, a Buddhahood comes through the practice of bodhicitta. And then once someone becomes a Buddha, of course, the Buddhas always think of helping other sentient beings. And therefore, those of us who have revered the Buddhas and consider them sacred and so forth, should actually keep, there's no way we can neglect the sentient beings at all.
동에 삼자는 지전 인지 동에 망스 저는 어디 양 주어지는 얘기도 왔는지 다 생기 인지 생 동에 나와서 메시별로 공공감는 가서 소소배 뭐 집에 지기스는 용도 와 디네주 가가르샤 처진의 디나는 무슨 있잖아 아니 닝지 관배 경기 생 동에 나와서 메시별 닝지 관배 소소 셈도시 롱롱으로 차와 있네 디 아니 저의 동네를 도래 있는데 다 켜는 디니 마스브 차요 말이스 네 송도와 다 개치시지 배지 디레 랑니 동네지 나와 즉 나를 유르자네 배 셈레야 배 슝체 다치 간자 사물지 즉 hopeless helpless 디 소치를 인거도 셴지 동네 싸움 유르자네 배 닝도 배 가서 올 배 닝도 땜부지 연이 랑 가르치 랑 그다 조 마서버체니 셴지 동네 나와를 미스별로 깨르서네 딩데 닝도 도와 랑 동네 나를 유르자네 배 셈고 소시대로 셴 동네 나와를 미스별로 깨르서네 커도데 또 지금 롱롱 보셔봐 있네 배 딩데 배 소소소 이지 뽑아 닝도 표도 치고지 알아. 때 캐버 싶지도.
So verse number 4 raises a question, of course, which usually sometimes is raised by other people as well. And so it says that since this compassion will bring me much misery, why should I exert myself to develop it? Of course, when you think about compassion, you may think that if you develop compassion, you feel for others, you have this empathy, it's thinking of suffering of others, and that actually disturbs your mind, your peace of mind, and so forth. But actually, if you really look closely at compassion, it is not a case that it disturbs your peace of mind at all, because it is, on the contrary, it brings, although on the immediate level there may be some kind of a disturbance that you may feel, but then deep down there is full of confidence, courage, and so forth to help others. Whereas when you lead a selfish life, where you think only about yourself and not others, and then when something wrong something wrong happens to you, you sometimes even become totally helpless, and then that leads to hopelessness and depression and so forth. Whereas this is not the case with compassion at all.
매주나 세단데 동네데 랑도샹데 계시니 어다 셴 동네지 나와라 미스별로 슉차고되게 템뷰지가 섬르지 다스위치 롱롱부르지 지용거네 대버레스 도와 세단데 동네데 랑도샹데 계시니 대나매도 단지 개변내가 셰잖아 다그 동네 마세데 망부 동네 생주치스 대저 균이 검조가 생기 동네 시가 빼면서로 가보다 남의 방향 주고죠 심지어 남의 저와나 가외자소 강의 뭐 디니진이 처음에는 탈반대에 지시 차스 심지어 너버치부터 같이 할 레벨 내가 딱 먼저 전에 그 라도 되니기 dimber로 라도 해서다 간다 레다 런이 찍고 싶지 되니기다 로텔라다 딩고 자슈임도 오늘 전에 시대임도 디산지 걸롱리스 매베체 줍지거 남주 양배탄에 또 준전 대세 경유도 산에 아다 대신노 쉬야마도 가게 하면 돼. 란지스 고대우샤레 카데우샤레 두 다더보도 아주 니울 대버레디 디르와 상당연데 란지스 고풀 풀도야마도 시작하게 봐 란지스야. 뭐나 전에 현진식 여전히 송유도 산에 다 까베신스도야 봐도 깎게면 돼. 뭐나 전에 근데 뭐지 모르셔.
And then, as Holiness continued to read through 104, it says, should I contemplate the suffering of living creatures? How could the misery of compassion be more? And if by one person's suffering, the suffering of many would be destroyed, surely kind-hearted people would accept it for the sake of themselves and others. Thus, the Bodhisattva Supushpa Chandra, although aware of harm the king would cause him, accepted his own suffering in order to eradicate the miseries of many. Thus, because they love to pacify the pains of others, those whose minds are attuned in this way would enter even the deepest hell, just as a wild goose plunges into a lotus pool. Will not the ocean of joy that shall exist when all beings are free be sufficient for me? What am I doing, wishing for my liberation alone? And so when you think along these lines, of course, you'll find that it's worth cultivating this compassion, which leads to the bodhicitta. Although at the immediate level, it may seem like your peace of mind is disturbed by compassion, but then deep down you have compassion, confidence, and so forth. And therefore, these lines actually give very powerful reason to cultivate altruism, and you will only be able to see that this is really right, nothing else is true. And so self-cherishing attitude can be actually overcome through these reasonings.
동네를 제가 돌아다 소수직배 룡아 이순고 관에 직배 컨디직이다 깔래로 되고 죽네 어디 디니 대대비관에 현실 다른 너잖아. 표준사고 탐제 토. 더니 토는 더버티 년주 년다 램버죠. 티니 현나 보잖아. dendu rimdu tobanjo dendu lado me bache dendu yache te 그래서 dendu re kare dendu ramidwa odin jibre dendu 톱내장 지 고디 rimdu 예정에 dendu rimdu tobanjo 다게 턴도 셴거나 차나 속을 녀원jo 셴지 턴도 다잖아 제변이 소 녀원jo 다디 주고 dom데 지든 대화 전이봐 되게 셴든 되려죠 지든 동에 신이봐 되게 잔든 되려죠 망도 샤다 지시고 집을 한게 돈이도 두 번씩 돼서 니기는 켜버려. 다티 휴고 dom데 나한테 생기 동에다 양다 저를 맞잖아. 상제인도 믿으죠. 코와나야 대화 매. 엔디션도 지대 팔을 쇼게 있어. 센딜이네야. 간다 가서 통실래 최상계 샴페인으로 여버 뒤쪽에 미상매 짐 미상매 가면 소수이네 배 저구에 거대버지. 지금 그 랑든 버시 삼등에시나 메데 고티 텐드 랑드 코주 텐드 저다스데 미상에 클릭을 봐 여러 치다 영향 벌었다. 자자가 진짜 인도잖아요. 안데 되게 다들 소야돼. 가사데 닥터 현재 동에다 양다 저와 마셔나 산지지 고바 미토바 송도 마세베 첸딜이네 거 이제 잠시 좀 되게 너나 내가도 더도 강하다나야 샴페인으로 치성 여버 대적이 아니 라나 기분이야. 치성 그 랑드 편이 뭐시 삼대베이나 더도서 야 지금 남지지 고바 토야다 파셔도 첸딜이네 기분 있고 말이 스타지 송도와. 자상한테 전주 쓰는게 편유송유도 전에 안다 공부 참배 년주 남는 도지신 투리 남는 접더라 것이 매번 전집에 전주성도 차차로 쓰네 이게 안다 리지트에 안다 원도 주비하게 특수송 셔버디 전주 쓰고 겁나 원도 대가도 토토야지 아니 내리 타벼고만 치드니는 랑들로 치드니 주고 말했대 간다 뉴주 봉야게 너가 샤다면다고 치야지온데 그러고 동리기다와 전주 섬기 섬버지고 고민도 전에 뉴주 봉야게 너가 샤다면다고 용데 아시죠 봐다 자 들이 뭐 인도 전에 난줄라는 도지 틀라는 저들 것이 뭐 먼저 순수 차차로 변나다 미기 주차샤나 랑이 디고사나 동해 연구를 세네 랑 준제도 체디 아니 미기주 봉하다 샹라 제베로 께니 아니 샹라다 내가 전에 그 말에 삼베도네 미기주 도만 이부데 자치 중 법치 중 쉬우시도 소저로 쏘고 domba 찍거리데 dom당고 랑 준제도 진짜 domba 찍다 샹 준제도 dom야 찍니도 쉬우지 해봐도 자 근데 인도산에 오늘 전에 배 삼바 자쳐 사들으셔 저주 선배 된대게다 냠는디 지 로장니 지금 냠는 제토나 와다배 겨울로부시 소토야 지 천디기버 치치몽원도 토야 자자 자다버 땡켜라 원도 림버 뒤니 아니 대하다 가데가데 빠라가데 빠라삼고도 부디스 와서야게는 소람 졸람 토놈 거는 세디야 저토야지다 애네 사탕원에 사탕원 입어 수버시버전에 배 이제 서주 림기 줘야지 어다 가서 가다 뭐야 알으셔 저장가 차도 때와 풀을 펴봐 이니 어디가
तो श्लोक नंबर
125 says, "If I give this, what shall I have left to enjoy? Such selfish thinking is the way of the ghosts. If I enjoy this, what shall I have left to give? Such selfless thinking is the quality of the gods," and so forth until verse 128 is on as read, and then verse number 29 says. Is like a summary of these the verses preceding verses, which it says, "Whatever joy there is in the world, all comes from desiring others to be happy, and whatever suffering there is in this world, all comes from desiring myself to be happy." And then it goes on to say, "What need is there to say much more. The childish work for their own benefit, the Buddhas work for the benefit of others. Just look at the difference between them. And then again, another summary says, the next verse says, if I do not actually exchange my happiness for the suffering of others, I shall not attain the state of Buddhahood, and even in cyclic existence shall have no joy. And so what these verses show us is that the qualities that we can develop with compassion. When you are dedicated, when you actually have the sense of caring of others, compassion, then friendliness also develops, and then you have more friends, and you have more joy with friends and so forth. Whereas if you remain selfish, then people will see that you are clever. You may be clever, cheeky, and so forth, but then you will not have friends, and so you remain alone and lonely. And therefore, the more you think about helping others, the greater joy and happiness you will have. The more you remain selfish, the less happiness you have. You will remain alone and lonely. And therefore, Master with regard to bodhicitta, Maitreya in his prayer, the Maitreya's prayer says that the bodhicitta leads you out of the lower realms of existence, leads you away from the lower realms of existence or averts them, and it leads you to the higher realms of existence. It also leads you or shows you the path to the deathlessness, and therefore he says, I pay homage to bodhicitta. And so this bodhicitta, when it complements the understanding of emptiness, which sees the true reality of things as it is, and what it does is together with bodhicitta, and together the bodhicitta and the view of emptiness leads us to not only the freedom from all the afflictive, destructive emotions, but even the very imprints, the residual imprints that are left by the ignorance and so forth. And so you become completely free from all defilements whatsoever. And therefore, when you do some virtuous actions, avoiding the 10 non-virtuous actions, for example, with just a selfish motive, or you do them with the altruism, of course, it is more powerful, greater to do it with the altruistic motivation than with selfish motivation. And so it's called. There's big difference between these two. So the bodhisattvas, of course, because they are dedicated to the well-being of other sentient beings, they are hugely courageous, and they're able to build so much quality within themselves by thinking of helping others. And so in this life you'll be happy with bodhicitta. In the future lifetimes also, bodhicitta brings you happiness and call a higher rebirth and so forth. And then also with the bodhicitta, help of bodhicitta, what you will be able to do is you will be able to progress along the paths of bodhisattvas and the bodhisattva grounds and so forth, and finally culminating in enlightenment, Buddhahood. So bodhicitta brings both the temporary, the short-term goals in this life and samsara, as well as in the ultimate and goal of enlightenment.
श्लोक नंबर 140
40.
야 준주기 배 투모 모임에 야 닥션냠저 로정다 지요래 다 금데 인 렁니 수로 수르네베 소르체 렁니 미수버시체 아니 쇼치글라 렁니 아니 배 랑진지 공부인데베 렁니디 쇼치글 세다 아니 쇼치글 냠탁베 심제 세다 렁니 로 수르네베 주기 팔때 단도스 단 란치고 삼데버티기 이니 니미 삼다 란셴 야와토나 다 룽구제 룽구 마레스 다 도센 삼단연데 랑싱기 로디 냠탁베 심제 투모 요서버 들바로 쳐댕에 정되도 란치고 삼단댕에 란진지 공부인데 대지 님이 통대 정도와 소소소 통통 견통 말과 달로 수르네베 지수 강사 소소 강사 수버시 파 가서 우리 체니 엔 상당히 랑진지 된다 아니 셴지버 집에 롤파 랑강한게 봐 대처럼 줘야지 편도시도가 어디 뒷민음 중수 숨거래 다들
तो इस
your mind, rather than tending towards a selfish person, will tend towards those who are suffering, those who are in this pathetic existence or condition. And so, in this way, when you in your normal fashion, in your normal way, of course, you are selfish. But then, when you imagine these three persons, which are yourselves, then your mind will be. It's easier to tend your mind towards the suffering sentient beings and to think of them.
셴진진기 연대의 랑진진기 견전이 잠병하게 봐 잡아집어서지 다 되는마 수부권에 랑진진다 봐 살집어서지 원데 제대로 담자니 샘교 제대로 미지너스 결혼해봐 군대에 퀸이 사제 자월세 큐기고다 큐기고 가르라고 해 뭔지 되지 셴인데 내통 타교 강도로 켜기차고 군심차 더동 따라 랑게테 유연형 선보 태토지 나게 샹라 큐 송기 껴를 말씀 쇼셔피 개디 밤이 눈에 큐 심전으로 머시는 큐기 코냐와 수문으로 진동에 대들 큐기 레다시 코 준비 유린도 단에 큰놈 전체디 큐기랑도 선보 숑 전 어다들이 어다 랑진질이야 다프게 가서 그렇게 견주 잡으셔야지. 나도 상담인데 직선으로 구조지 테이무도 와.
फिर
So these verse 160 down. I am happy, but others are sad. So I'm happy, but others are sad. I'm high, though others are low. I benefit myself, but not others. But why am I not envious of myself? And also 161 and 62. And so these actually show the faults of the self-cherishing attitude in a very powerful way. So I must separate myself from happiness and take upon myself the suffering of others. Why am I doing this now? In this way, I should examine myself for faults. Although others may do something wrong, I should transform it into a fault of my own. But should I do something even slightly wrong, I shall openly admit it to the many people.
Oh yeah. That finally the 185 sentences.
श्लोक नंबर 185
대치배 제배초. 그러다 안 더보도 코통만 뒤다더보도 랑진진리야 겸주시 이시제 대베리 그도 들려 못 좋다. 자다 다자 랑진진다 덴진리야 로데잖아 그도 들려 매용한데 ngar deveda pekene tomabane tu tadabodo ranjinzin da tenzini la lui jingi jene 이지 be jingiru cheche le shibu de ngar zimbe lote da ranchebe zimbe lote le shibu de ba kadam dile mo jong inde ta taja eni ranjin ziliya ta ngolo chego gore ngogo chego gore tenzin la ngogo chego gore dinde indu zane 대외 집에 쨈에 쳤다 안 더보던 가도 셰셔버디기 다 더그서 봤다 다즉 enough is enough 그래야 다 들으셔 근데 인도 다게 캐베 제니디 바유 담네 전전에 니도 무번 넣어버려 계세 투 채널다 리베센의 숙자디 년전 채버만 배나 다게 동네 남타신 대외 집어 세외실 로벨 남래 셈된디 양다 밀로 따버려 다게 냐버려 샤버샤 실습이 접어도 주고 됐어 삼대도 시저도 누구 깨보 어다 데다 당가는 지 목니로 지가다 세세 다 여배 인도산에 당원의 전에 지금 바유 땀 전부 전에 당원의 폭경 링구 링이 현체네 아니 덴진러야 창도 랑진진기 네버더니 다 랑진지다 덴진이 우티 다 싸 가서 냐라 고년 투지 되네 갈리야 그 슉도마 짜 투지 아니 터두디 디 바자를 잡아 장 투지 디 제고요
So what we have done so far in our life since time beginningless in samsara is we have entrusted ourselves to these two friends which are so dear to us. One is the self-cherishing attitude and the other is this grasping, strong cling to some kind of true independent existence of self and others and so forth. And so because of having done this, because of trusting ourselves to these two the dear friends, what has happened to us is the condition that we are in now. And this is the condition that we are in because of these two. And therefore, now what we must do is what this means is that we are unable to fulfill our own goals, our own interests completely, fully, nor are we able to help others as well completely. And therefore, we are still suffering. And these are because of self-cherishing and grasping at the extreme self-cherishing attitude and grasping at true existence. And now what we need to do is to revolt against these two old friends and say enough is enough. And therefore verse number 185 says, so enough of this childish behavior. I shall follow in the steps of the wise, and having recalled the advice concerning conscientiousness, I shall turn away sleep and mental dullness. And goes on to continue reading the text. 186 says, just like the compassionate children of the conquerors, I shall patiently accept what I have to do. For if I do not make a constant effort day and night, when will my misery ever come to an end? Therefore, in order to dispel the obscurations, I shall withdraw my mind from mistaken ways and constantly place it in equipoise upon the perfect object.
Ranamala. Now actually three sort of
Help and discern what is right and wrong correctly.
Chapter or
and then try to overcome the negative emotions and even their imprints from our mind.
Now I'm leaving tomorrow early morning. So all those problems, your problem, remain with you. So you see, you have you have the sort of also the solve your problem. So now problem, full of problem. We cannot eliminate this problem. What we can do is, in spite of this problem, we have the ability or technique to maintain peace of mind. Now, that's the way. And you lead your life meaningful way. That means, if possible, serve other, help other. If not, restrain harming other. So I think essence of Buddha Dharma is if possible, serve other. If not, restrain. Because things are interdependency. More harmful action, you get suffering. More generosity, helping other, you get a benefit. Because everything, law of causality. So that's Buddhist way of approach. Then, so other tradition, which carry practice of love, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, contentment, self-discipline. So there are many common practices there. So you can take some of these practice, you can apply in your own tradition. Okay, no problem. Thank you. So the question of whether there is creator or not, whether there is Atma or not, that's a private business. Not much problem. So now I would like to take just a few questions. Just 5.
Afternoon.
Yes.
I'm from Thailand, and
Oh.
I have some questions for my parents. My parents got sick. I'm here to study in Pune. And is there any way for me that I can help them to relieve from their sickness in a Buddhist way or through meditation, or any way for them to do meditation or through Buddhist way to heal themselves, to get relief from their sickness?
좀 전에 되게 두송도가 레제 넘버 멤버네 마도소스. 성ар게다 랭행 되고 멤버 그도지 제대로 가오래.
Even the Buddha said that when the fruits of negative karma matures, there's nothing much can. Nothing much can be done.
So only thing is medication. Take medicine. That's all. And some people claim they have healing power. I doubt. I'm very skeptical. And my daily meditation, not much help problem my knees. So only medication or some exercise, like that.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Next question?
Your Holiness, I have been following your work and I've read all your books and I've been meditating for many years. And being inspired by that, I have left my very comfortable life in USA and returned to India so I can serve and be of use to many people. So while I feel compassion for all of humanity and all the animals and everything in the universe, when it comes to my own family, like my wife, it's a blind spot.
Karsa.
So, with my spouse, instead of feeling that compassion that I feel for humanity, there's always a lot of irritation and a lot of all that. So, can you please shed some light on that mystery and help me?
심지어 탐지 수준에
심지어 탐지
김상 소수 킴이다.
심지어 탐지를 닝제 곰 드리지도 고 오스 연구도 군중기 디콜로망고니 테블로 안 아메리칸 코란 레가 샤제 데바다 힌도 치기스 이나 코란 게 산다디 냠도 케디 ene hendal samutawana hintang thugumdos college thedigdos tik kande segoina.
I think that's quite natural. I think the other also marshi komyashtoga marshi so the simja thamjalo so ajinan shi zachi muin sam sam da divrin.
तो हिंदी जैसे कि अभी बताया था कि सारे
Earlier we talked about all sentient beings, looking at all sentient beings as one's mother. So if you can actually look at all sentient beings being like your beautiful wife, that would be also precious like your wife, that would be good.
Own wife. And okay. Not necessarily having sex. Only sex, only your wife, with your own wife. But as far as sort of close feeling, you must extend to enter. Okay.
Yes.
I appreciate, you see, you voluntarily you should come to your own sort of the land and then trying to make some sort of help to other. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
And Your Holiness, yesterday's dialogue we had, you mentioned quantum physics, right? Where the electron behaves like a wave or like a particle depending on your own point of view. If your own thought is that it's a wave, then it behaves like a wave. And if you think it's a particle, it behaves like a particle. In quantum mechanics and quantum physics, we have understood that. And so if we take that idea further, that whatever we think is what we create, what is in our mind and what we visualize is what we create. So I think from today's understanding, I just want to make sure I understood correctly that feeling compassion and cultivating compassion for others is about the existing suffering of humanity. By feeling the suffering of others, we cultivate our own compassion. But as far as creating the future is concerned, there's the metta or the good thoughts, good vibrations, sending love, sending all those beautiful thoughts into the universe so that we can create a beautiful world. Is that correct about, one is cultivating compassion by visualizing suffering, and one is creating a beautiful world by spreading love, spreading joy. Am I understanding this correctly?
The quantum physics na wave particle lare so tatang chane duden chikba inja tatang chik thone lab bi mo thon de tatang chik thone duden mo thon de ta so tagin tatang le ra le ge ji shik duas tega na shin simjin la ya ko tatang ya ku ji she je simjin ge dungen nar de wa ta ran nguen sin de tatang dus te bai na e di thone ning ji che tu ye da yang dungen ge samlo ma da chene ku de wa the na sama ji bo chung na samje ya sing zamling de ya ku dan je wo cha ye samlo dan na ya tinde yung tu be ji dan de seri ge ta da da wo da ji
Oh, that question, for me, difficult to answer. I think basically, according ancient Indian sort of thought, including Buddhism, I think chit and matter, two separate things. The way forming different mind, different thought, and the way forming physical, different way. Now mind, since you see things are very much designated, right? Not independent, absolute. So, and the reality, reality are relative. So there is always different aspect. So mind focusing one aspect, you get certain sort of understanding or certain feeling. The same thing, look from another angle, you might sort of see something different. And accordingly, you also get some different experience. That is true. Then detail, your point, I don't know.
Your Holiness, The Secret is one book, I don't know if you have come across. The Secret is very popular these days, everyone in the world is reading. About how by visualizing what you want to create, you are able to actually create the world the way we want, right? By visualizing it, by feeling it. For example, the liberation of Tibet is something we would like to visualize and have happen. So that's what I was trying to understand fully. That how do we visualize that positive side?
정확한 강인에 얘라 똑똑한 들 전에 배시 용과지 미미샤와다. 이나야 대 똑배 마닥배 쳐요 말데 똑배 강다 요구요 말에 똑배 강소소 말에 양코 리얼리티죠. 리얼리티 뭐데 가르쳐도나 봐봐 자인전에 똑배 따서 못 됩니다.
In all activities.
가서 그래서 너희 봐. 똑배 딱 성금이 좋아. 작배 된저는 참아시지 민우버지 그 튼난도 두고 같이 쉐도. So 똑배 강 소소 말해 사지.
In all human activities, it is true.
According to Madhyamika philosophy now.
According to Madhyamika philosophy, it is true to say that any of human activity has to be preceded by human thinking, conception. So conception plays a big role, but this does not mean to say that you can designate anything and create anything. So there is a objective reality also, not in the sense of having independent existence, because again, if you try to pinpoint the object of designation, you will not be able to find it.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful, thank you.
Dalai Lama, is it possible to have an interview with you later on, personal talk with you?
No, not much time. Actually, no time. I think till next time, maybe.
Till next time. When will you be coming back
Hmm?
to Bombay?
Huh?
When will you come back to Bombay?
Oh, certainly will come. Not fixed so date, but I already have some invitation. So we'll
Do
certainly
you,
opportunity.
do you give initiation to people so they can become monks or?
If there is sort of the serious sort of the desire or tenure,
Interest.
then okay, that can be done.
How? Should I come later on? Or?
Okay,
Okay, I'll come later.
okay, thank you.
Namaste, Your Holiness. Thank you for your love and support. Through all your travels and experiences, can you tell us about a moment, a person, a place that has really inspired you? One moment or a person or a place that has really inspired you through all your travels and experiences until now.
Because she expire seminar.
Sajada meda mangbo phe minda meda mangbo thu du che de ene saja chebar wa chi da mi chebar wa tinde che gi jabar mu che gi ene karso ta nyongzor le che gi kujo chimbo
Mixer.
dari mixer.
Oh, I don't think. I think our mind, firstly, Tibetan mind, quite sort of straight away. Not like American. American sometimes you see too much ups and downs. Small things happen. Oh, good things happen. Overexcited. Some little sort of bad things go like that. And person or people who passing through difficult life, they mind not much ups and downs. And then also as a monk, quite steady, like that. And then this training. I think training really sort of makes some different mental sort of state, mental attitude. Of course, I admire like Mahatma Gandhi ji or my own lifetime. You see, I think in this country, like Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I very much sort of developed deep sort of respect, admiration. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the Pope, John Paul, so on. Yeah, you see, really. Also, the people whom I get some kind of deep sort of respect or deep admiration. That's there. Like that. Now, place. Now, last few days in Bombay, too hot, humidity. So, some kind of homesick, my own place in Dharmasala. Cold, dry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Holiness, this is a bit of a long shot question. You're going, we're all going, and then if we want to receive teachings again, somehow we do it, Google, train, plane, and we receive more teachings. And in the next life,
Kosa. What?
Molam Dajresha. Could you think Sunjo do top songs?
Oh.
And the Juma Kundu Sunjo, how you made the Zokunzo that Sakwa, the internet, down the day, any Chiga Namdru, really Harina, do so young Mutuni, Shutwe, down, and the Java Jemala, do Shutwe, Molam Javius.
Oh, thank you. Now I think usually, Kasade, Katurinda, Damsala Kajushati. I think October, you see, usually, I think 2-3 days, I think usually 3 days, some Singaporean, Chinese, and also some, I mean mainly Singaporeans, Southeast Asian Buddhist group. Then also October, Taiwanese group. Then also Mongolian group. Then Russian groups. Most probably Russian group teaching maybe in Delhi. Otherwise also these was the teaching about 3 days in Dharamsala in October. So you can come, Dharamsala. Okay.
and your
Then winter, South India, some major teaching. Okay.
And Your Holiness, if we want to receive teachings in next life from you,
Kasa. Next month, Ladakh. What? Ka.
Next life,
Next life, that depends on this life. You
Yeah.
behave well. Then next life, almost guarantee. Thank you. You come from which country?
I come from England, but I come from England.
England.
Yeah. I live in Spain.
Very good. Thank you.
Your Holiness, greetings to you. Thank you for all your teachings that make the world a better place to live in. I am pursuing my PhD in management, and as such, I consider that spirituality, religion, and education are resources that belong to the Eastern world. 2 questions, Your Holiness. First, is it possible to consider in a business point of view, in a disciplined way, to manage these resources like spirituality, religion, and education to combat the ill effects of capitalism, world domination, and the greed for power to make the world more peaceful, lovable, and prosperous?
Karsati.
Corona the management now,
Right.
the PhD term is any management now, that spirituality, the religion, the education, to Zuni, Labja the Sulen, the capitalism, the Membic, and the Chizonagi, Junjati jail, the Tamsing jail, Pijodan, the Digways.
Yes. Okay, I think any system, no matter how sort of good system, ultimately related with the person, you see, who carried this system. So ultimately, warm-heartedness, a sense of responsibility, a sense of universal responsibility, these are very, very important. Once you see that kind of sort of mental sort of quality, sincere motivation, then all human professions can be constructive. All these different professions, you see, carried with self-centered attitude in short-sighted way. Or then even good system, like religion itself, very, very good, but carry religious teaching with negative motivation, then religion also becomes dirty. Not only dirty, sometimes harmful. So every human activities or professions, whether can be constructive or not, depend on our motivation and wisdom. Look the reality. That's overall, I feel like that. The detail, I don't know. You have to study. You have to investigate case to case. Okay.
Your
Thank-
Holiness, is it possible for a common man, an Indian, to aspire to achieve the Nobel Prize in Human Development?
Kasa. Nobel Peace Prize.
Jagar ki mi kyu ma chi ane do mi gi ta samlo dang da yer ji do ye ti thon da la ane bezon chen ne shidi sing da ra thu gres.
Of course, I think we all, I think over 7 billion, I don't know, can get Nobel Peace Prize. Then I think a Norway organization, I think, may confuse, I think difficult. So otherwise, you see, there are no differences. Ordinary person, work hard, carry sincere motivation, then more people you see, appreciate, then I think why not? But for Nobel Peace Prize, some people ask me, I should recommend it. That one important American politician, now he no longer, I do not want to mention his name. He wants me recommendation
To recommend him.
to Norway committee. Then I told, sorry, I never done that. Like that, thank you.
Your Holiness, my question is regarding the judiciary and the punishment system. So, for example, in the case of the Delhi rape case, there were death penalties issued by the government. So, I want to know if the victims should actually resort to legal means at all, or what is your opinion on it? Because
Kasa.
rape per se is a very different kind of a crime.
Kasa.
Jagar na la da ning ti pimel chen dang nyok da chim bu chung song al. Di ga la tim ki tim da ra ji che de yo re de da di ke je de mang bu yang jo yung de yo re. Pimel chen di. Che du da ko di du bu nyang gen tu gi tim rang tu din de che na pen do yo na me na tu zu ko la kalu khar na yo na.
I think that's good. I think should firstly, you see, brought to court, and at least some publicity. That to raise awareness, seriousness. Otherwise, you see, many people, I think it seems to see just normal sort of way. That's a mistake. I think we should sort of. One time in Dharamsala, one Western Buddhist teachers conference took place. Then at that meeting, you see, some people, you see, raise the issue of some spiritual leaders, so sexual exploitation. Then I told the meeting, Buddha, as far as Buddhist is concerned, Buddha made clear sexual misconduct, negative. Even lay people, monk of course. So that doesn't stop. So now only thing is make publicity. Then these people may develop some kind of caution. Otherwise, you see, they carry a different way. So, and then wherever I meet, you see, the pressmen, I always telling, firstly, is to my commitment, promotion of human value, promotion of religious harmony, because the media also have important role. The third point, particularly for media people, that I usually telling them, media people should have long nose and a smell, front as well as behind. So everybody try to nice in front. So important is must investigate what's going on in behind. So I always telling media people should have long nose as long as elephant nose. Then make public what's the reality. Investigate politicians, businessmen, or religious leaders, or scientists, or because of the educationists in every sort of professions. You see, we must sort of investigate what's the reality. Then make it public, provided be honest, unbiased, truthful. People should know what's the reality. So, including the sexual things, must make clear. And then must bring to court.
So you're okay with death penalties being issued?
Karsa.
And do you think that will actually bring relief to the victims?
The same chin at Dungan Yang Second Shorba. To Tatablam to Zutone, this sugar, Gangi Seal, Japan Torres. It will definitely provide some relief.
I think two things. These victims, they feel, oh,
Because first of all, they will not then get the sense that people are totally, not regarding them, showing no interest in them.
Oh, then secondly, the larger community, get more sort of today.
There will be more alert and aware.
Sorry, just to add on, but isn't that a way of instilling fear, and where does compassion come in here?
Karsa, what?
The same change or one, same change in the Soto Nebatai till Mutuyanas.
Oh, death sentence. What? Death sentence. Oh, death sentence. Overall, you say, I am one of the signatory of international, because of Amnesty International carries some movement, the abolishing death sentence since many years. So I am one of the person who signed. I think in Europe, a number of countries, death sentence already abolished. United States, some state abolished, some states still carry. India still carry that. So this, I think, overall, I think we should think very seriously. On the basis, many my friends, when they carry some teaching in prisoners, like Delhi Tiar jail, Kiran Bedi, I know her. You see, she carries some sort of a program, meditation program, in Tier jail. So result, you see, the prisoner, many of them become much sort of calmer. So there is a possibility, change human mind. So early part, very criminal person. Later part can be a very nice person. So should have opportunity, change. So I prefer not a death sentence. Then they also, I think, firstly, possibility change. And secondly, I think life prison sentence, I think better. Then they eventually witness, say, the attitude of the society, negative attitude. So that's much better. Let them develop more regret. Death sentence finished or nothing. Isn't it? But of course, these are legal sort of thing. So up to the lawyers or finally, I think the parliament is a worthwhile, some serious discussion. And for that, I think some form of articles and some talks about these things in the public level, I think, and make more awareness like that. That's, I think, important. Yes?
I want to know whether silence and shunyata are the same, in which case, what is the effect of extra vibrations to mobile phones, Twitter, Facebook, and all that?
Silence and
Shunyata.
shunyata, same.
Is it?
No,
No.
never.
Okay.
I think like a mosquito, no voice, silence, except there some noise of their sort of wing. Otherwise, I don't think any voice.
But in any case,
So we people, you see, deep sleep, complete silence, and complete relax, or sort of rest, silence. They're not thinking about shunyata.
is silence necessary for shunyata?
No. Again, motivation. Yes, silent meditation there. In Hoti, now since 75, we carry some kind of, 4 methods in order to promote religious harmony. First, meeting with scholars from different traditions. Discuss what's the differences, what is similarity. When differences, of course, there are, then we must discuss what's the purpose of these philosophy. As I mentioned earlier, the concept of creator. Purpose is to bring compassion, love. Non-creator, love causality. Also, you see, the purpose is to strengthening the concept of compassion, like that. Then second, meeting with practitioner, exchange their deeper spiritual experiences. Very important. My own case, after I met late Thomas Merton, Catholic kasa, Benedictine, right? Oh, I think in perhaps early 70 maybe, just before his certain death in Thailand. So really, to me, he was really introducer of Christian value, and particularly Catholicism and the Catholic monks' value. So the experienced practitioner meeting, very, very helpful to get deeper understanding. Third, like Assisi meeting, in millions of public eye, that kind of sort of meeting with spiritual leaders, very, very powerful sort of message. Then fourth, that actually Bishop Tutu had. That is, you see, like a tsunami. Then sort of also from different religious traditions come together, work together, serving sort of also the tragic sort of people like that. So since then, I start 7 and 9. So, or then another thing, pilgrimage with group people. So since 75, I started that practice from Sarnath. At that day, in Sarnath, first I visit one church, the second, mosque, the third, Hindu temple, and then, of course, Buddhist temple, and one Gurdwara. So Gurdwara last, so we already tired. So the prasad. Oh, very delicious. So you see, people from different faith together, go together at these different holy places. Then prayer, difficult. So silent meditation. That kind of silent is meditation, truly silent meditation.
What does Twitter and mobiles and Facebook do
Karsa, mobile and Facebook.
to meditation? Mobile phones and
That's
Twitter,
very useful.
social media,
That's
social
very
media,
useful.
Facebook.
Oh, this part of modernization. Very good. I never used that. One time, I received one telephone call from America. Actually, President Bush. After I got some sick, so he telephoned me. So usually I do not they use that. So when after I hear his voice, and when I answer, that phone put here. So my secretary laughing, not necessary. Come here. I felt, you see, old way, you see, hearing and then talking like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Now I think last question. Last question. Now, please. Oh, then okay. One. Only one now. Only one. Now no time.
So this is about meditation. When you're meditating, what do you do when you're highly overcome with negative emotions? What do you do when you're highly overcome with negative emotions when you're meditating?
Gom java kawla nyomong shuk chimbu ki ma susu nyendi yu na anik tabki khari yu nas.
Te kazu chebi Kanda shedang nyabutin zane shedang ke kyu yi midi kya di ngongo chore so.
And we have been in fact discussing about that. For example, when you are developing hatred, and we said that hatred or anger arises because of unhappiness of mind. So you need to stop unhappiness of mind.
But how do you stop
So
it?
initial stage, we can deal much easier. One fully develop anger, attachment, then difficult.
Yeah, but when you're meditating, you certain. Sorry. Okay. All right. I still not found my answer. When you're meditating and when the emotions become much stronger, it's something from the past comes up, and then how do you negate it? How do you become calmer again? Sorry?
Louder.
Oh, okay. It's like when you're meditating and some of your past events come up and you become very negatively emotional, it becomes very difficult to handle that and still continue with the meditation. At that point in time, how do you handle it?
So as I mentioned earlier, time, mental change, mental development, time factor is very crucial. Just on the level of knowledge will not affect. Just remember that knowledge, that awareness will not affect. You need more constant sort of thinking and familiarize. As I mentioned yesterday, there are 3 levels of awareness. One, from hearing awareness through hearing. Then second level, awareness through contemplation. That is more stronger. That brings conviction. That also is not much effect. So third level of awareness, the through experience. Now that level, then real effect on emotion come. So take time. Okay. Make more effort. Okay. Month by month, year by year, decade by decade.
Okay.
That's the only way.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now last, this one, last.
Thanks for giving me an opportunity to ask you a question, His Holiness. I just wanted to ask you, the Nagarjuna who taught us about Shunyata and the Nagarjuna who told us about Rasa Shastra, are these both the same or they are different? The Nagarjuna who told us about Shunyata and the Nagarjuna who told us about Rasa Shastra. chemistry.
We believe same.
They both are
Some
same.
people say different.
Because I have learned that he lived up to 600 years. So I just wanted to
Not
know.
only Nagarjuna, but Chandakirti, also some people say, oh, one Chandakirti wrote Tantriyana, and Chandakirti who wrote the Kasati, Madhyamaka Avatara, must be different. So the main reason in Buddhism, no tantric practice. So if that logic goes, then we must accept two Shantarakshita. And again, two Kasachuti, Choji, Atisha Dibamkara. Then, so I think the other day I mentioned one respected great scholar, Sanskrit scholar. After he saw one page, write down on palm leaf, the Sanskrit style. You see, he found exactly 100% same. Because of the person who wrote 400 verses, and that person, the style, exactly same. Since then, he believed the same Arya Deva who wrote 400 verses and as well as a Tantrayana text, like that. Okay. Yes? Oh.
Sing one.
Oh.
Can I sing one line? Just in front of His Holiness? Just one line.
Oh.
Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Your Holiness, on behalf of my grandparents who were here the first time you came and my father who was here the last 2 times, all of us here, we really thank you from the bottom of our heart for coming here, for teaching us, for blessing us. We are absolutely honored and privileged that you spent time with us for the last few days. We are privileged that you stayed with us. We thank you deeply and we hope you will come again soon. I want to thank all your colleagues, your friends, your staff, the police, everybody has been so sweet, so gentle, so wonderful. It has been a pleasure working with them. I want to thank our Karma Yeshe Yenchin for setting up the entire beautiful Tibet exhibition and everything that has happened here. I want to thank Aspi and I want to thank Supriya particularly for putting this thing together. I want to thank our student volunteers. I want to thank the cook. I want to thank everybody. I'm not naming everybody quickly, but I want to thank everybody who's made this happen. And Anita, especially, because we were sitting next to each other in the teachings at the Taj Mansingh, and we talked about this. It was her idea, actually, and I really thank her for making this happen here. Thank you so much.
So, as I just mentioned, you see, transformation about our emotion take time, not easy. So we need constant effort. The transformation of our emotion, not like a modern automatic machine. It takes time and need effort. In order to carry effort, we need conviction. In order to develop conviction, analyze thoroughly. Then you get real conviction. Or someone says so, and some kind of awareness on that base, because of the relying on someone else's word, not very sound. Another person says different, then you get doubt. Through thoroughly analyze, then some awareness, you see, some certain level of awareness come. then different people say different views. Then that person feel, oh no, I thoroughly analyze, thoroughly examine. This is true. So that's very, very important. So therefore, just short lecture won't help much. So please, you yourself, think more. If possible, daily think. So only sacrifice is, you should sacrifice nightclub so that you can sleep earlier, then next morning should get a bit earlier. Then think these things. The morning, our brain more fresh. Some people before breakfast may be fresher. Some people after breakfast may be better. So that's up to you. So like that. So the point is, if you have some interest, genuine interest, then you should not leave it. You see, these ideas simply there. You see, because of that, I asked organizer, you see, that these text should print. That means you can read daily basis even. So therefore, now those people who have some interest, then effort must be continued, year by year. Then some change come. So my own case, I think I may say, from my childhood, my mind quite sharp. But you see, my practice now over nearly now 70 years, I made effort. Then gradually some experience. So then you, no question, you need a lot of effort.
On behalf of Nalanda Shiksha, Your Holiness, let me please extend an extreme thank you for coming here and sharing 4 days of wonderful wisdom with us. I also thank Samir Bhaiya. He gives me too much credit for having the idea. Having the idea is easy. The work is very difficult. That was done by Aspi, Supriya, Aditi, Mr. Sundarajan. More important, the sponsors. Without you, we couldn't have these teachings. So, and all the other volunteers, we thank them from the bottom of our heart. Let us end with an invocation from Shanti Deva. This is His Holiness's most favorite invocation. I'll do it in Sanskrit. Akashasya stitihi yavat yavachha jagataha stitihi tavan mama stiti bhuya jagadukhani nityaha. As long as space remains, as long as the world remains, may I too remain to dispel the sufferings of this world.
So, good afternoon, everybody. As yesterday I mentioned, the practice of tolerance and forgiveness, these things is common, all major tradition. So some of the Shantadeva was the brilliant way of presentation, I think applicable to other believers. Okay. Except it's some explanation or reasoning according to the Buddhist way. So except that, many things we can use with different faith. Okay. Then one theistic believer, one time in Jerusalem, one meeting, so one Jewish teacher told at the meeting, he advised some, in his class, there are some Palestinians, some Israeli students together. So he advised, so when the people meet someone who usually get some anger or irritation, then at that time think the other, the person who you get some sort of uncomfortable, consider image of God. So afterward, many Palestinian students report to him, after listened, after heard that sort of advice or suggestion, when they meet some Israeli checkposts or people, usually they got some kind of uncomfortable or sometimes irritation. So when they imagine that person also image of God, then immediately reduce the mental level sort of irritation. So these are the methods to reduce anger, hatred. According to theistic religion, we all created by God, so everyone have some kind of spark of God. Everybody have. So thinking this line, very, very helpful. Again, this morning I mentioned, I think it is important to make distinction, action and actor. Actor is concerned, think, God has the image of God. Action is concerned, sometimes necessary to take countermeasure in order to stop that wrongdoing action. Not out of anger, but out of sense of concern of their well-being. If you let them take advantage of some wrongdoing continuously, eventually they will suffer. So out of sense of concern of their well-being, then take a countermeasure. So that's very balanced. Mental level, never let anger, hatred, not develop anger and hatred, then fear automatically reduce. Meantime, focusing on deeper sort of subject, firstly analyze. Without knowing, without some actual experience, then no basis of single-pointed meditation. So you need analytical meditation. Through analytical meditation, once you get deeper understanding and not only understanding, but some kind of experience, some kind of firm sort of conviction. And conviction brings experience. Then, when you actually sort of get experience, then without analyze, remain on it. So both method is familiarizing these. Now, for example, compassion. First, analyze pros and cons, compassion and anger, hatred. Then that gradually bring conviction, firm conviction. Oh, I must increase compassion. Then, familiarize. Some experience develop. Then, for longer period, analyze. When develop conviction, then short period, meditate on it. Like that. That's Inda. Yes. That's the Karsa Chisamanda. Simne Drubiati, any Utada, any Changsada, the Zunalo, Dodian Zunalolia, Simne Drudanko, Shipsau Sungtua. any shilsaga chik dinari yore, lobe kamala shile, kumrim nari yore.
तो अपने चित्त को समथ में लाने के लिए कई ग्रंथों में कहा गया
You wish to train your mind through what are known as the steps, the 9 steps to cultivate single-pointed concentration. You can actually study about these in the Madhyanda Vibhanga, the distinction between the center and the extremes, and then also Sutra Alamkara and Kamalashila's Bhavana Krama.
Nyeba ngapang, any duchi ke, any semne kurimbe ya training, things you top ruguri sunada.
The Madhyanda Vibhanga by Maitreya, it's mentioned, in fact, the 5 different faults which actually hinder us from cultivating single-pointed concentrations, and how to overcome them through the application of what are known as the 8 processes, 8 applications. And then gradually, through this, by how to cultivate this single-pointed concentration.
띵인지 이실 두고 뭐도 왕실 두고 말해. 그래서 드님이 이르잖아요. but 메더드 더 부샤샤나. 냐를 디 메더드가 넘버드 롤 샤와체. 롤 샤와 삼려야 이물을 샤대베. 아니 다 메더드 튼집 줄 알아. 그 디스ум년스도 와. 띵인지 미긴 숨년스야디. 어다고 롤이야 이물이야 메더드 베 이브다 카다도 디르베 차라메 이물을 싸와체. And according to circumstances, shows it necessary to countermeasure. You can take countermeasure. Clear? That actually is we are doing. For example, some of these Chinese hardliners, you see, for their action is concerned, we openly criticize and oppose. But we never develop anger, hatred towards these people. So, and for example, when we make, confession, at that moment we make distinction. My wrong action and myself. Isn't it? Now I realize that action is wrong. So I confess. So we have the ability to make distinction, action and actor. So similarly, look, others make distinction, their action and the person who carried that action. So towards person, forgiveness. Towards action, not forgiveness. Take countermeasure. Okay. So now this chapter, today's is chapter 8, is mainly explaining about the value and how to practice infinite altruism. This also generally common with all other traditions. Now, first paragraph ang tangut tata zundu jene ni yini dingin zela sha simne number yeme mi myomu che chana ne chiglat
No.
띵인진 심 찌지고 영어라 심 찌지고 영어 쇼 삼바로 지 심 찌지고 중나 삼바상 심 찌지고 이거 말봐 그 시부 공고도 검니 심 찌지고 그게 나야지 영토야 이거래 심기 가서 그게다 the Buddhist psychology 디식도 the ancient Indian psychology the Buddhist psychology 쟤네 왔다 가다 semlo kunjungas 다가는 신 유명 다 가다 sem고 그 랑셰수 패지 sem고 그게 미국으로 롯데야르지 디심중 삼바사지 미국 때니 지금 유한 차야르지 그다 지도 샤버다
तो जो समाधि की अवस्था है
So when we try to, without going into details, when we try to cultivate single-pointed concentration, what we need is, first of all, to identify the object on which you're going to focus your mind. It can be even a flower that you can use. It's okay to use this. And so when you try to develop single-pointed concentration on flower, what you need to do first is look at the flower with your eyes, but then the concentration itself is not developed with eyes as such, but you have to use your mind, have a clear picture of it, the flower in your mind, and then focus on that image.
फिर उसके बाद फिर जो
Also use certain parts of the body, the different the drops or the different chakras inside the body that you can use also as focus of your mind for concentration.
수제 지면 되게 디 말해 디 수제 독 사시도 어디 타와야 어디스 디야 그게야 리소 사소 야 시바 코르 삼다시 셈 코르 삼다시 미디는 샤지
तो फिर उसके पहले तो अपने शरीर इत्यादि को
itself
देखना
as the focus of your concentration practice.
तो अगर
So when you use the mind as your focus of the cultivation of concentration, first of all, you have to be able to identify the mind itself.
가서 우리 그게 담에도 중대부터 다 nga driven go nga nyong ji ta ngo bu de chen de chamba jor ba de ba ka ge mo jo she ta maung ba ya ji de sam de chi sam de yung gu sam chen de maung ba mi de nam do de che de mu mo su che ta de be chamba de ka maung ba che sha ga nam do de ge mo jo she do sta de be na hop khalia 동상으로 지금 나온지 샤야도가 다 네가도 그러지 봐 윤내 투버 중원이나 Any dene sasam, riksam, nyongsam jigi, jig nyo jig lim to a lot of shayong. What are the suddenly we shineki meeting never than it's so.
तो जब हम चित्त को देख
And so when you use the mind itself as the focus, first what you need to do for concentration practice, what you need to do is forsake or stop all kinds of past memories, whatever experiences you had in the past, they should not come in your mind. And you should stop the past memories as well as stop the future anticipation of what's coming in the future. So don't think about the future as well. And then when you try to maintain your mind, remain in that kind of a state where you don't think about the past nor the future, there comes kind of an experience of vacuity or space. And then when you continue maintaining or remaining in that state, what happens is you will be able to see the mere clarity and the awareness or cognitive nature of the mind itself. And therefore this mere...
엔테네 그게 즉 독주체하다. 디 미국을 그게 셈 때니 미국 대가가 로도 돼야게 내처럼 찍고는 신기해 되지. 다셈 지지고 두서야지 진짜게 내 빼나 즉 유시베 즉 남주 즉 여대버디 코 정다체네 양의 양도 그 시로 장유도잖아요. 시로 철철철 두게 받는시 그게 미국을 셈 두서 내야게 내처럼 여대버 되니 양 가서로 굶지 전에 콤베다나 애니 그에는 너버치치처럼 줘야 여대버지 해도가 저거 자고 깊지도 싫어 않으셨어야 되겠지. 직주시.
तो जो कि ध्यान पारमिता या फिर सहसुरता, खासकर जो सहसुरता की बात कही गई थी वो सारी की सारी परंपरा में समान है. तो अगर हम कामना करें कि हम समाधि की अवस्था में पहुंच जाएं, केवल कल्पना करते रहें.
Naturally for us, it comes through familiarization. What in one of the mental factors is considered to be that of concentration. Here, of course, there's a basic aspect of the mind being able to focus on something, but then the single-pointed concentration must come through training of the mind. And so, although there is a basic cognitive nature of the mind, which with through your training, you can actually intensify its power to concentrate on the object and then develop this single-pointed concentration on any chosen focus. And so basic mind has this cognitive nature, being able to perceive or see things. But then through training, what we do is we make this more intense and intensified, and therefore you are able to develop this concentration through familiarization.
Now I would like to explain something about how to meditate, single-pointed meditate. Now this is the single-pointed meditate. Basically, you see two kinds of meditation. One analytical meditation, one single-pointed sort of meditation. Two kinds. So actually, we use, you see, these two meditations. I think every sort of kasota. I think our daily life, actually, I think we are doing. Now, for example, the businessmen or women, you see, analyze how to get maximum profit. Analyze. That's analytical meditation. Then once you convince now this is the best way, then concentrate on it. Say single-pointed sort of faith or something. That is a single-pointed meditation. We actually, you see, do that. I think food. You see, firstly, testing, right? That's analytical meditation. Then good taste, and for a short moment, without other thinking, just because of the test. testing 좀 말해 가서 어다디 그지 저 시물디 냥제도 스타일에 가서 가
the taste, the good taste, for a while.
relishing. I don't know.
Without doing any analysis.
This is some kind
just
of
focusing your mind
first
on
you
the
test.
delicious taste.
That's analyze. Then you get satisfaction.
Relishing it.
Relishing. Then a short moment. Remember, that's the single pointed meditation. I think our daily life you should go that way. Now you see the focus.